If we're going to work on this, let's work smart. We have a background on two different layers. The text works here. I'm not suggesting this is a great solution. It's just an example. If we want to modify that text here, why don't we grab our type layer, grab this icon right here, and I'm going to drag it down to the new layer icon right there and make a copy of it. And to stick with our naming conventions, we can just call it alt type. So then we can lock this type layer and hide it so we don't see it. And this way, whatever changes we make to this one won't affect our other design. Work smart. Now, speaking of working smart, I think in Photoshop this image needs to be lightened up a little bit because the contrasts between the individuals, the boat, and the sky aren't really apparent. And that, Zoe and I will handle that off screen and get you a modified version of this. But for right now, how about selecting a color that lets our text actually show? So let's select that, and using that same thing, if I hit the letter I get the eyedropper. See that if I hover over it, see that in parentheses? It looks like a lowercase l or a capital I. And we can start sampling colors. Now the yellow is not going to work because it's going to just die in the moon. But with a stroke around it, it might. But until we get there, for right now, let's just try to pick something that gives us, a little bit. Okay, that is not the color we should end up with, but it does provide us with enough contrast to see what we're doing. So getting the black arrow and deselecting the text, I'm going to click away. Right away, this is a symmetrical design. It's very, very symmetrical. It's not completely symmetrical, but this light pole here, I emailed Zoe, she sent this in. We've got a situation where this light pole is closer to this one, and it's not in the center of the moon, so it needs to be moved over too. So let's say this is a symmetrical design, so our text here should not be off to one side. It should be dead center. And so if we do that, this text, instead of aligned left, should be centered, right? And now let me show you a trick with the Align tool, having selected this and aligns right here. And you've got a lot of choices, but everything depends upon the setting right here with the Align tool. What is it aligned to? Well, this is aligned to the artboard. If it were aligned to the selection, it would behave differently. So if we align to the artboard right here, which means the boundaries of our poster, and then select horizontal align center, well, that pops right into the center. And again, our contrast is not the best. We don't have to center this because we've already used our guides, and that has defined where this is going to go. Let's come back. I'll do the stroke in a different video because it's kind of complicated. And this is just so you get working smart, so you can turn off that layer, on this layer, off that layer, and you can see what's going on and work intelligently. And maybe to make our job a little easier, if I drag this up, you got to be careful about not dropping this into another layer. I'm going to come up and go over to the left of that icon so I can drop this on its own layer. So then I can turn these two eyeballs on very easily, turn them off to get, I just click and held the mouse button down and drug to get our two different designs. And you too can start working like a pro.